Black Hawk Racing car is getting ready to go green. Of course, they have control over the start of this race until they get to the start-finish line of the circuit, and then everyone is able to go racing. Safety car pulls into the pit lane. The race of round 9 of the World Sports Car Challenge is about to get underway. The Black Hawk Racing car just pulls over to the left hand side of the track and is getting ready to put his foot down to the floor, and we are racing. Black Hawk Racing get off to a bad start because the 285 is down on the inside, in a good position to take the lead of the race, and he's got a nice car length in between himself and the second place car. Down into the first corner they all go, any instance as they come through the chicane, and that is all the cars able to get through the first corner without incident. We've got a nice battle going on between Rick van der Velden. Rick van der Velden moves up into third in the LMP2 class. They're still side by side as they go into turns 3 and 4, and Rick van der Velden pulls back. You've still got his teammate Paul Holt in the car behind as well as they go down into the next few corners. In GT3, Pedro Costa still leads in class. No position changes for the top cars there, because the number 7 is directly behind, followed by the 94. The 94 seems to be in trouble because the 61 AMBU car is looking left and right in their Ferrari 488, trying to find a way past, but not able to just yet. We have one car that's been off grid, that is Pedro Bagranca, and that is the Spirit Sim Racing car. So one casualty at the start of this race. Back to the lead of LMP2 though, because Daniel Poacher is being chased still by the 6 Black Hawk Racing car. Then we have a fairly big gap between themselves and the 420, and the 420's gone round as we click onto the view of them. Cold tyres and the car struggling to get round. Is he going to be able to avoid all the GT3 traffic? Because here comes Oscar Alvarez. Oscar Alvarez goes around the outside, and Pedro Bagranca brakes heavily in order to avoid that, and that allows the number 7 BMW Poland Sim Racing car and the 94 to go through. 61 AMBU cars is through as well. They're side by side as they comes down into turns 13 and 14. Ferrari has the lead but has the outside line, which means Pedro Bagranca and the 36 Rebellion car can retake third place, and goes off the curbing and back onto the tarmac again. I thought for a moment that the 36 was going to make contact with the 94, but that has calmed down now. So in GT3 it is the number 7, then the number 94. The Poland Sim Racing have a 1-2 for the first lap of this race, and then you have the 36 Rebellion car had to take evasive action to avoid the 420 Hansa Racing LMP2, and as a result they are into third in class. But he's got a slipstream as he comes down into turn 1 for lap 2. Thinks better of it and tucks himself back behind that BMW M6. So then take a bit of a breather. We're just going to stick with the GT3s for the time being. Get the gaps up. 0.3 seconds between Daniel Poacher and Black Hawk Racing as they come into lap 2, and it is closing down, so they're going down the back straight at the moment. Is the slipstream going to be enough? Down into the braking zone they go, and Black Hawk Racing trying to get past. They have a slightly better car in terms of their track position at the moment. Looks down the inside, thinks better of it again, tucks himself back behind that Oreca Nissan LMP2 and continues the charge back down in towards turn 13 and 14. Is he going to be able to make the move? Goes down the inside line and tucks back in again. So Daniel Visner anxious and very eager to get past that 285 car, but waiting for the right moment to make it happen as he comes down into the end of lap 2. We did miss an overtake, and that was between Pedro Costa and the 94 BMW M6. That was probably down the back straight as they came into sector 2 for the second time. This is great racing, great start to this event here. Only 5 minutes have elapsed, or 4 minutes have just elapsed there. Paul Holt in 56 Fair Racing cars just gone quickest as well, and that was with a 1:45.5 by that team. That means that he has taken the position away from Rick van der Velden, which is their fellow team. Issues there then for them as they move down into P4, demoted off that podium position. Let's go back to Pedro Costa as he is right behind the leading GT3 car. A lot of speed carried through the first sector of these corners. Very fast circuit here at Dubai. Personally, I find it a very underrated circuit. I always have fun when taking a car around here, and Pedro Costa makes a small mistake coming into turns 5. Manages to wrestle the car back under control, though no issues there for the Chevrolet Camaro driver as he comes back down the main straight again behind the 7 BMW. They've all got the slipstream as they come down the back circuit. Looks down into the outside. Is he going to get the car alongside? No, he's not. And that means he's going to get the undercut. He's going to get the undercut on the number 7 Poland Sim racing car as he comes into the second sector. Number 7 though defending very well as he comes into the second sector again. That is turn 12, hairpin done. Another chance here for the Chevrolet Camaro to take advantage of that slipstream. The BMW has no such luxury as he comes down into turn 14 and 15. Heavy on the brakes again and using the uphill as an opportunity to use that engine braking and slowing the cars down. The BMW is slightly better through the corners, as we know, with this GT3 mod, but the Chevrolet Camaro has an amazing power package underneath that bonnet. Off the track limits, Pedro Costa goes as he wrestles with the Chevrolet Camaro onto the tarmac and down onto the main straight. This is the start-finish line and the beginning of lap 3 for the GT3 class. Into turn 1 they go. Gets very close to the rear bumper of that BMW M6 this time round. And a small mistake there from the number 6 BMW this time. He's in a good position now. Looks like the BMW M6 struggling on that back straight again. Goes over the track limits, and that means they're side by side for the main straight. We know the Chevrolet Camaro's got more power than that BMW M6, but he's got the outside line as well. So is the Chevrolet Camaro got enough speed and power to get that car in front before the hairpin? That's a no. Side by side they are into turns 10. That means he's got the inside line for turns 11 though, and he's got the lead of the race. But the BMW fights back, still side by side, at least by the front bonnet of that BMW M6, and dives down into the hairpin at turns 12. And once again onto the main straight. But that means that the Chevrolet Camaro is going to have more exit power in that Chevrolet Camaro. Is it enough to get that car back into the lead of the race? Down the outside into turns 14. I've never seen that happen before. That was an amazing move, but it did not work. The BS7 BMW held on nicely there in order to retain the lead of this race, and we have 5 cars here, 5 GT3 cars, 61 in the background, went very wide, nearly took out one of the other cars in the pack, and we've got an amazing battle here for the lead of GT3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars going across the start finish line, all within about 2 or 3 seconds of one another, and it is all happening here with only 10 minutes into this 6-hour event. There's a fairly big gap in between them and the next car, which is Dean Joe's. That's the 53.488 car. And they've got a 5-second gap in between themselves and the leading GT3. So already we're starting to see a different performance between these two packs in the class. They then got Pedro Bragrenka in the Spirit Sim Racing 40 LMP2, slowly fighting his way back through the pack. But right now, all eyes are on Pedro Bragrenka. The 36th running car takes the outside line once again. Amazing power performance from that Chevrolet Camaro. And of course, the BMW is able to hold off, and he's in the lead. Nice clearance there, takes the inside line. But the 7 in BMW takes the very inner side of the circuit, and they're side by side once again. Going into, that's Garrido. Victor Garrido goes sideways in the background there. We're going to keep our eyes on these guys because they're fighting for position. This AMBU car gets turned around by the 94 as well. That's a massive collision, and that is the end of that one. The 61 AMBU car gets spun around by the 94 BMW there, and they were side by side as they went into those 2 corners. So that is just a bit of bad luck. I'm sure that would be put down to a racing incident. Still side by side, there's even tapping between the two leading GT3s, and the 5036 goes sideways as well. What is happening? Everyone seems to have lost the bottle because they are just crashing all over the place. Watch the contact, boys, because it is very, very early on in this race. Nobody wants to be in a position where they are losing out on points because of silly toe-to-toe battles. It is great to watch, but as long as there is mutual respect on the track between all of the drivers involved. But Pedro Costa leads the way for the time being. I'm not sure for how long because they're still very close together, all of these teams.